Hello, everyone. Today we're going over section 5.2, rational exponents. In this video, we'll cover problem number 7 and do a problem that was on a past final from 2021. Look at number 7. It says rewrite as an exponential expression, then simplify. Notice we have radical notation on all of these. So we want to rewrite it with rational exponents and then simplify like we've done in the past. Okay, x cubed, and then take the fourth root. So that would be x to the 3/4 power. This is the fifth root of x, so times x to the 1/5 power. Don't forget, the 5 has to be in the denominator, and this really is x raised to the first power. Now I see two bases, which means I add the exponents. So x to the 3/4 plus 1/5, common denominator of 20, and fix the numerators. How do I get to 20? I multiply by 5. I can't willy-nilly multiply by 5, but I can multiply by 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Not changing anything, just manipulating it a little bit. It's still mathematically sound, so the numerator becomes 15. Then same thing over here. I multiply by 4. So I multiply by 4 over 4 just to multiply by 1. And that numerator becomes plus 4. In the end, I get x to the 19/20. Could you turn that back to radical notation if you needed to? Of course. You would just have x to the 19th and then the 20th root. But you don't need to. They didn't ask us to. But just so you know how to, there you go. Let's look at B. X to the fifth, and they have a square root. So don't forget there's a little 2 right there that you can't see. So this would be x to the 5/2. And then this one would be x to the 1/3. When I'm dividing, I subtract. So x to the 5/2 minus 1/3. Again, common denominator of 6. Fix the numerators. You could also say, hey, what am I missing? I've got a 2. How do I get to 6? I'm missing a 3. So 5 times 3. And then what am I missing here? I'm missing a 2. So then 2 times 1. 15 minus 2 is 13. So now I have x to the 13/6. I could change it back to radical notation, but you don't need to. All right, C. Inside, I see x to the 1/6 power, and then I see that to the 1/3 power. A radical and a radical. Don't worry about that. Just change each piece to the rational exponent form. So 1/6 and then 1/3. I only see one base. So here I saw two bases in part A, and that's why I add the exponents. But if I only see one base, she's powerful. Power to a power, so I multiply. So this becomes x to the 1/6 times 1/3, so 1 over 18. And you're done. Let's look at a problem from a previous final. Simplify. So once again, if you have a mess, clean up what's in the parentheses first. I notice 3 and 5. Nothing to do to simplify that. Then I have x to the negative 2/3 over x to the 3/4. We'll simplify that in a second. And then I have y cubed over y squared. So all these pieces are multiplied together, raised to the negative second power. I love to just write them separate so you can kind of think one piece at a time and you don't get overwhelmed with all those letters and numbers. 3/5, can't really do anything to it, so just leave it alone. Okay, x. Remember, our new rule is move the smaller number and change the sign. Negative 2/3 is the smaller number, so bring it to the denominator, change the sign to add 2/3. So this would be 1 over x. Now the common denominator is 12, and fix the numerators would be 3 times 3 is 9. And then 4 times 2 is 8. And then when I'm looking at the y's, move the smaller number, change the sign. So I would subtract 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So then I just have y. All of this raised to the negative second power. So now I can kind of put it together. 3y over 5 times x to the 17/12, all raised to the negative 2. Now there's two things happening there in the exponent. The negative will flip it or take the reciprocal. And then the 2, you want to square everything. Most students forget to square the 3 and the 5. Don't let that be you. All right, so first let's flip it. So first, I'll flip it to have 5x to the 17/12 divided by 3y. I didn't change anything. I just applied the negative to take the reciprocal. Now I square everything, including the 5 and the 3. So that leads to 5 squared is 25. 3 squared is 9. When I square this, so that's 17/12 times 2. Divide first. That simplifies to 2 divided by 12 is 1/6. So this becomes x to the 17/6. And then you also have a y squared in the denominator. See, not as hard as you thought. You can do this. Clean it up one step at a time. Separate it, think about each piece, move the smaller number, change the sign, and then if there's a negative, take the reciprocal, and then distribute that final exponent to all 4 pieces. And there you go. You're completely simplified. Have a wonderful day.